How many rejections from agents and publishers have you received so far? And how do you overcome the sadness and self-doubt? I don't know if I should say how many rejections I've had. 3 digits. And the way that you overcome the sadness is you just assume that everything you send out is going to be rejected until it's not. If you start with low expectations, I mean, how much worse can it get? Then it's a surprise. Then it's like a birthday gift when you get a, hey, I like that. Can I see more of it? Hello, my name is Ian Kirkpattacake. I'm an author, editor, robot, and today we're looking at Reddit for writers. Where I know we're at it again. Let's see what we can find. How many sentences will you read before you put a book down? Depends on the sentences. A paragraph, 2 paragraphs for me. Unless the sentence is like really, really dumb. You're telling me your style, your speaking style, like you're telling me in the first couple of paragraphs, you're telling me your speaking style, the character personality. Yeah. I'll give it a paragraph or 2, but if I don't like the style. Now, if I've purchased the book, I'll give it longer. Usually, I don't really borrow books very often, so usually I read the most of the book unless it's just terrible. Next. What would be the drawbacks of writing about a fictional event in a real place? I mean, this happens. A lot of people do this. I think almost so many stories have just made up events. So one of my stories takes place in 1954 Kansas, in a real place where there once was a real mental hospital. And all of the events that take place there and the people that go there, I made up. I have a character in a different story that is a mobster ghost who obviously didn't exist in real life, but he was friends with Bugsy Siegel. So that's like not even just making a fictional event in a real place, but it's making a fictional relationship with a real person. I mean, go for it. You're writing a story. That's what it's about. Technically, everything we do in a real place is a fictional event in a real place. Go for it. Next, writing an object narrative. At my last writing group meeting, one of the ladies wrote an incredible narrative, and at the end we found out it was a houseplant. It completely threw me for a loop. It was amazing. She wrote it in a way that had absolutely no idea it was a plant until the very end of the work. That being said, our next meeting isn't until the 14th, and I have no way of getting in touch with her until then, and I was a complete idiot for not asking about it at the time, and I'm going to hit her up for tips the next meeting. My question is all for you. Do you have any tips, website suggestions, information, anything about that? That is writing a narrative. The best way that you can write an object narrative is you give that object a personality. Like, you still have to establish that object as a living thing, and then we see the world through its eyes. Imagine that you're a book on a shelf. Now describe the room as the book would know the room. Imagine that you are a light. What does it feel like to turn on? What does it feel like to turn off? What does it feel like to have those hands push the buttons that you can't communicate? Do you feel something about that communication? Like, you have to, it's just like writing any other character that you would, is you put yourself in that mindset and you see the world as you might imagine a light would, and yet it's still going to have a personality of some kind. Your light might be sassy. It might be, oh, I can't believe you're touching me like this. We don't know each other yet. It might be, oh my gosh, get your hands off me. I hate it how you can't decide whether you want the lights on or the lights off all day. In addition to that, you actually, at the start of your story, you have to establish if it's an object that you're writing. Now, maybe you go with a vague idea. If you're writing like a short story, you're just getting started and you don't want to plot it too much, you just start writing with a vague idea of what kind of thing you're working with. But at the end of it, when you're editing and going through, you have to write with the full intention that you're writing from what perspective you are specifically writing from, because that is a full-fledged character. The potted plant. Full-fledged character with its own life, its own experiences, its own POV, its own personality, everything. Treat it like a real character with its own experiences. Next, what if the main character has a foreign name that's hard to pronounce? So I'm writing a book about a character with a Nigerian name called Benga. And the book would be titled Benga Takes Over. Within the first chapter, the main character pronounces his name correctly to an Uber driver, which essentially informs the reader. The G is silent and it's pronounced Benga. Oh, okay, Benga. Benga. That's a cool name, he gestured. So you're heading to Hertfordshire? Is it okay to have an ethnic name for the main character without tongue twisting or stressing out readers? Yes, it's fine. Depending on the setting, it also helps to do stuff like this that lets you know how to pronounce it, but sometimes you can't. Like right now I'm reading Ferdinand, which is a Polish book that's translated. So all of the names are Polish, and I don't know Polish pronunciation. And when I run into character names that are kind of weird or kind of long, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of either make up nicknames for what they sound like, or I kind of just skip over the names and just recognize the spelling, but I never actually say their names. And that's kind of what you get with different sort of names, but it's okay to have them. It especially helps the reader if you tell them how to pronounce them. I know I'm slightly a lazy reader sometimes, but I also like to read out loud. The answer is just yes. Next, leaving an ending ambiguous without it feeling unsatisfying. Although I've been toying with the idea of leaving the ending of my story ambiguous, but I'm scared people will find it unsatisfying. This is the general idea. At the end of my story, two ghosts fight each other in an astral plane over who gets to possess the MC's dead body. One of them is the MC's ghost, the other is the ghost of the dead girl with the MC killed years before the story started. The winning ghost gets to return to Earth with the body to possess, whilst the loser essentially gets stuck in limbo forever. Both characters have reasons for the reader to root for them and reasons to hate them. Neither of them can be considered the good guy or the bad guy. At the end of the fight, the two ghosts land their finishing blows at the exact same time and back on Earth. The MC wakes up and walks away. One of the ghosts has won, but I don't know whether I should reveal the winner or leave it up to the reader. I want to know if leaving it ambiguous would be satisfying, or if there's anything I could change to make the ending sound better, or the ending better. So with my first novel, I originally kind of wanted to do something like this because I was like, I don't want the readers to know which person won in the end. But I determined as I went that it was a more powerful ending if I had made a strong determination, if I had made my character make a decision in order to create that ending. Because what is a climax of a book? It is a character making a decision and beating something else. Can ambiguous endings be powerful? They can. You see them a lot, especially in horror writing, because they want to end. You see them a lot in general because people want to have sequel opportunities. But I think to make an ambiguous ending work is you have to, one, know exactly how it ends, even if you don't tell the reader. So in this case, you've got the two ghosts fighting and then the body walks away. I think the author needs to know who won and to leave some hint. It can be so minute that nobody would ever catch it, but there needs to be some hint that you know how the story ended. So if somebody came up to you later and said, well, which one was it actually, you would know, and you would know why. If you don't know, your readers are going to know that you don't know, and they will also be unsatisfied. Number two with ambiguous endings is it has to be justified for the ending. Like I did this whole video on happy endings and how they're considered out of date or out of touch or not fashionable anymore, according to critics. The thing that makes an ending satisfying is it makes sense to the overall story. An ending that doesn't fit is going to be one that's like, what the frick? Whether it's ambiguous or not. Next, I'm afraid of writing something cringy. It's that simple. I'm 16 and I usually write fantasy stories, and recently I started to work on a novel idea of mine. I've based one of the characters off of me, usually shy but good for their close friends and a kind of anti-hero. The thing is, I'm really afraid people will think that this is just a stupid teenager novel because we have a lot of those in Turkey. A part of me knows that I'll never be that bad, but it's still a worry of mine. Do you feel the same way, or do any of you manage to get over these things, this feeling? Thanks for amazing community. We all write cringy things when we're teenagers, and your first draft especially does not, it could be all cringe. That's fine, because that's what revision and editing is for. But cringy happens. Most of my cringe was all online because I roleplayed when I was a teenager. And I look back at those times, and I can look back at the characters that I made and go, yeah, okay, that was a choice. But it's all a learning experience. What you write now is not going to be your first and only draft, and I wouldn't worry about being cringy the first time anyway, because that's always going to be there. Treat everything as a learning experience and every story as its own individual story. I know professors and published authors who look back at previous works they've done, and they hate rereading their own work when they're working on a new novel because they have grown and they see things that they would have changed if they had a chance to rewrite them. And I think that's a little bit sad. You know, I hope that I don't ever cringe at what I actually publish, but we all write cringy stuff as teenagers, and that's okay. It'll get better before you stick it out. Hopefully, you'll edit, and to make you feel better, I'm going to share some cringy stuff I wrote as a teenager. Song lyric time, angsty song lyric time, if I can find it. Oof. I'm pretty sure I have some fiction on here as well. I don't really want to get into the fiction. 2-minute meme. Was I making memes? Oh, I am scared to click that, honestly. Okay. So here we are. Please don't go look up this old DeviantArt. It's 2007. We're going 13 years back. 15 years old? Yeah, sounds about right. You've got my devotion. I'll give you everything. My love, my life, my virtue. Just for you to see. See me for what I am. Yes, I really love you. Let me show you now. Please, just once, just once. I can do it. I will do it. I will love you like no other. I can do it. I won't break. I will show you again and again. I will protect you. I will love you. I'm the only one for all your life. No one else can touch you. I'm the only one. Please let me follow. May my will be done and hold me in your arms forever. You belong to me. I was taking notes from Evanescence. I never dated. I have never dated. This is from an experience. This is just from an idea. I'd once been lonely, and then you came. You loved me like no other. You erased the pain. From all that's nasty, you didn't care. The shame I'd harbored, the lies all clear. I love you, I want you. There's far too little time. I love you, I need you. Please tell me the same. The sign. Beautiful rhyming there. Sure, this is 2011, so we're going back 9 years now, so 19. Is it really another Sunday night? I thought you promised, I thought you told me that you would always be mine. But where are you? Where did you go? You always said you loved me much more than most. You always told me that you would hold me to protect our love. I trusted you. I wanted you. That's why I wanted you. Am I really sitting here without you? Couldn't you have at least said goodbye? I think about you every night. Hear me praying, and baby, find me tonight. And again, 19, didn't date, never dated, wasn't broken up with. Bloody Valentine. Okay, this is gonna be the last one. When I hide, it's never from you. I come every night just to get a glimpse of you. But how it looks, how it sounds, it shouldn't hurt so much when you're around. Cover your heart, close your eyes, don't cry a tear. Your hearing just lies. Your voice, your skin, your look, your eyes confuses me more than anything alive. The whispers, the world, the truth, the lies. They make up stories to hide the lies. I keep saying that was lies and lies. Beautiful. Crimson isn't the name, not until it's over. Starve the cries to show you're stronger. Hold the ties above your head. The ones that drop will become dead. Don't close your heart. Open your eyes. Don't kill yourself for hurting inside. What is going on here? I'm waiting for you. Let's see. Tonight's dreams will be bloody because you hang around my head. This isn't hatred I hold for you, but it's something else instead. I loved you so much it I took myself to bed. How much I loved you is all that repeated in my head. All that repeated in my head. Oh, I looked at Bethel post and wrote this last night. Very nice. That makes a little sense. So this is from a character's perspective. I did that a lot. And in 2008, so 16... We all write cringe. This isn't even the worst of the cringe. I'm pretty sure my worst cringe is on here, honestly. And I shared some other cringe in a horrible place on where I used to roleplay a lot. I know it's on here. No's monologue. Oh my gosh. Dude. If you want to talk about cringe, I wrote a character monologue based off of a roleplay character and post that I wrote, and then I performed it in Acting 1 in front of a bunch of my peers. I'm still alive. So anyway, if you're afraid of writing cringe, don't be. I'm sure there's worse, but every teenager does at least a little bit of cringe. It's a rite of passage. If you want to share your cringe, please drop it in the comments down below. I would love to revel in our own cringe. If not, that's okay. My cringe hurts. If you like this kind of content, please like, share, and subscribe. And let me know if you have any suggestions. Until then, I will see you next time.